Hey, it's Roland again, and you know I've had a sudden hankering to finally give Chibi Robo a try. Let's see if I can find a copy. Okay, I've also had a hankering to play Flintstones on NES. Okay, I've also had the hankering to play Clifford's Learning Activities for the PC. This is better. You know, I often ask myself, why don't you play the games you want to play? And the answer is money. The retro game market ain't fun anymore. Everything's gotten so damn expensive since everyone suddenly likes putting hunks of plastic on shelves. Now I'm expected to pay $80 on a used copy of Mario Party 6 and be grateful. I don't have the kind of money to drop on that, at least not a good conscience. Call me old-fashioned, but I feel a little dirty at the thought of spending over-market value on one video game that's over 10 years old. Believe it or not, I did once have a game collection. A pretty stable one too, on shelves no less. I was a real gamer, but I put that life behind me, and goodness knows I can't get into it nowadays, I'm too cheap. I got started way back in the late 2000s when it was dirt cheap to pick up these games. I would go to an antique store in my hometown every week and pick up an N64 game for $5 a pop. That's how I got Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, Mario Kart 64, and so much more. I once went to a garage sale and found a Super Nintendo with all the controllers and cords and like 15 games and a copy of Nintendo Power for like $15. And now if I go to one, I'll be lucky to find a PS2 sports game for $15. And I'd probably still get it. While I don't have a full-on collection anymore, I still like to pick up a video game or two, but it really has gotten less and less fun as the years go by. Sorry if I sound defeatist. It's great that more people are appreciating video games, but appreciate them after I get the ones I want, okay? Stop driving up the prices! My urge to scratch my nostalgic video game itch is disproportionate to my bank account, and it's always the ones I want the most that end up skyrocketing in price. It's funny how supply and demand works. Luckily for me, while I may not be able to get all the games I used to, there's one kind of game that still seems to overall stay dirt cheap. Old licensed computer games. Really, computer games in general don't seem to hold their value as much as console games, mainly because PC games always kinda existed in this weird adjacent relationship with the idea of retro games. You usually won't find them stocked at a retro game store. The term usually implies games for consoles and handhelds, so most people just kinda overlook these old things. You can still find these for 25 cents at a thrift store. I'm sold. I should specify I'm mainly referring to disc games from the 90s. And once you get into older computer games on floppy disks and stuff, the price starts to climb, but it seems like everyone's trying to get rid of Blue's Treasure Hunt. I can think of a few reasons why they're so cheap. 1, a lot of them are on Steam now. 2, a lot of them are educational. And 3, they're a bitch to get working. With a console game, you just have to get the console and boot it up. With an old computer game, you gotta know Trig 7. You have to sort through a mess of files, virtual machines, and emulators, and even if you're lucky enough to boot it up, it'll probably just crash, not render properly, or call you ugly. It's a labor of love to get these old things to run on your computer, and I found myself doing it a lot lately just to satisfy my desire to pretend I don't age. Hey, at least I'm not doing heroin. What I'm trying to say is, me deciding to play Clifford's Learning Activities is society's fault. So this is what it's come to. Clifford's Learning Activities for the PC. Joke's on you, I'm actually excited about this. I haven't played this game in years. All my memories are in this wonderful cloudy bubble of nostalgia and I'm ready to shatter it. What even constitutes a learning activities? That could mean anything. The game could just be 30 minutes of Clifford staring at you. You're technically learning fear. This game came out in 2001 to accompany the Clifford the Big Red Dog TV show that was airing on PBS at the time. I was one of those dummies that thought this is where Clifford originated, only to discover that he was born in 1963. He's almost 60. I'm sorry I didn't recognize the seniority. I'm mature enough to admit I went through a Clifford the Big Red Dog phase. I had a stuffed Clifford toy, a figure playset, and I even still have a Clifford Christmas tree ornament that I bring out every year, but I definitely grew out of Clifford pretty young. I never really felt the need to revisit the show or any Clifford stuff for that matter, but I still like the character. There's just something about him. Probably that he's red. He's such a simple creation, you can't help but want him to teach you addition. I'm pretty sure I got this at a book fair. I refuse to believe I went out of my way. The more I talk about it, the more I realize I actually don't remember much of this game, so if it stinks, who cares? I've teased you long enough, let's pop her in.
Now where did I put that game? Oh, here it is. Just give it, put her in there. There we go.
Ooh, wow. It's cute, shut up. First thing to note, the animation is pretty good. I'm glad. It would kind of ruin the entire experience if it was subpar since that's what most of the game consists of. The only wonky thing is that the outlines are kind of jagged, but hey, for all I know, this thing was animated on MS Paint, in which case that's really impressive.
Clifford and all our friends are entering a big contest. You know, big. Just like Clifford.
We get it, he's big.
Type in your name, then Then we can get to work.
Oh, you can tell I've been here before.
Me, huh? Me, huh? Me.
I don't know about you, but I'm having a blast. I don't even need to see the rest of the game. Let's go with hard. Something tells me it won't make much of a difference. So Emily Elizabeth wants to enter the dogs in a contest with Prize Pooch magazine to show the world that Birdwell Island's dogs are the best in the world. Get off your high horse? She discusses this with the other characters whose names I do not care about.
Machiavelli and I.
Oh my god, I forgot the dog's name was Machiavelli. I don't get it, but it's funny.
You want to help too, Clifford? I'm sure you'd be a big help. Because the more we work together, the better chance we have to win this contest.
I gotta say, the worst part about being an adult is going back to the old things you used to watch as a kid and realizing that all the characters sounded really annoying. It's not the voice actors, they're literally all industry titans, it's the medium. They're delivering all their lines to kids, so it's very slow and easy to follow, but when you come back with a slightly bigger frontal lobe, it comes off as patronizing. It's particularly noticeable with Clifford.
Hey, you two, it doesn't hurt to try to play together.
As for the game, it runs fine, it just sometimes gives people a stutter.
How am I ever gonna write something really amazing if I have writer's block?
I wasn't lying when I said that the animations make up most of the game. I would say that more than half of my playthrough consisted of Clifford, Cleo, and T-Bone trying to sell me on the concept of sharing. So the game consists of 8 mini-games that are supposed to critically engage the 3-year-old mind. Rhyming, matching, finishing patterns, whacking fruit, the old song and dance.
Parrot, car, it rhymes.
In this one, we have to guide T-Bone through the woods to find all the sheriff's lost keys, and it would be easy if rocks and logs wouldn't keep manifesting. I hate it when that happens. It's fine, we'll use it as a learning activity. T-Bone, what is that object blocking your path?
Nuts!
Oh, so close. The tricky thing with this one is it doesn't have my mouse down perfect, so poor T-Bone just slams against the walls while I try to guide him. It's fine, doesn't seem to bother him. Alright, T-Bone, now what's that one?
Nuts!
Nah, you'll get it next time. I spent way too long on this one, which just caused me to fall into a trance as I listened to T-Bone's strangely rhythmic sniffing. Next up is coloring. We get to make a sentence featuring one of the 4 dogs, and then a coloring page is built based off of that sentence. That's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna resist the urge to make it dirty. It feels like sacrilege. I don't know what happened. Let's go to the pier. I'm sorry, am I interrupting something?
Let's check this place out for a few things that would make good instruments.
Oh god, they turned Fred into a dog. I hate to say it, but you can really take most of this game at face value. I was secretly hoping there was more to it, but there really isn't. You just play the games. You can replay them and they'll change ever so slightly. I don't have a strong desire to. Beyond that, you can click on stuff and trigger a very limited number of events.
Faster than a speeding hot dog. Able to climb tall ladders in a single bound. Cleverly disguised as a fluffy poodle. It's Super Cleo!
Don't you feel better? So I can't really argue for the gameplay, it's pretty subpar, but what I will argue for is the overall quality. It's a great representation of the source material. It would have made a child fan of the time very happy. I know, because that child fan was me. It's not one of those games that I would find myself eager to go back to several times. This may very well be the last time I go through the trouble of installing it on my computer, but it feels good to have made peace with this specific corner of my youth. Oh, but I gotta know how it ends. The dogs win the contest. Some lady shows up in a boat and Clifford's real excited about it. And then the game stops. Seriously, I can't do anything. I mean, I can check the photo album or look at the coloring book again.
Great poster.
Thanks. Other than that, I can click on people.
Haha, that's my dog.
No, that's my dog. That's our dog.
Yep, that about wraps it up. A weird way to end it. I can't even go back and play the mini games anymore, but I guess that's life. Oh, and if you're curious, I did go back and play it on easy, and I could not tell a difference. You're welcome. Well, I think I sufficiently indulged my nostalgia. I have another one, and if you thought Learning Activities was a good title, you aren't emotionally ready for Clifford's thinking adventures. It's right up there with J.R.R. Tolkien's Bilbo's contemplative stroll. I guess I have to give the background on Clifford again. You see, he's a dog, but he's really big. Let's begin.
Watch this. 1, 2, 3. Where'd it go? It's not in my head. It's over here. Hey, this one doesn't look as good.
Ooh. Wow.
Who's the biggest dog around?
Oh, I'm sorry, was that directed at me?
Who's the reddest dog in town?
You know, I got the slightest idea.
It's Clifford. It's Clifford.
Yay!
Do you want the game to be easy, medium, or hard?
I still have my pride. Make it hard.
Now pick 4 jewels for Clifford's collar. Click on that. Oh, hi. I'm Emily Elizabeth.
Oh gosh, it's a wonder what a year will do to you.
We need to take Clifford to the dog groomer for a haircut and a bath.
Yeah, that's nice, honey, but I think the first thing we gotta do is get you to the ER and see if they can get your kneecaps back underneath your skin.
I wonder where Clifford is anyway.
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting the feeling he's outside the window.
There you are.
So this game is ever so slightly different from Learning Activities. It's more in tune with what I guess you would call a classic point-and-click kids game, like the ones Humongous Entertainment made. Yeah, it was only a matter of time before I brought them up. The game still mainly consists of mini-games, but the focus is on interacting with the things in the world, and getting items to give to characters so that they can give you items to give to other characters. It's like a little village.
Here, little froggy. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Wow.
The main difference that completely changes the mood is that Clifford no longer speaks. He's just a dog. I guess this barely predates the PBS series. Originally, Clifford mainly appeared on VHS tapes and he didn't talk on them. He just expresses emotion through little thought bubbles that show up from time to time. No Cleo or T-Bone either. I would say I missed them, but I didn't even notice they were gone. I like the interactions in this game a lot better because it feels less like everyone's trying to teach me something. Everyone's just existing. It feels more genuine when they're being nice.
Here's a treat for ya.
This could be a problem. Wow.
You know what? Nuts to you. I like this game. It's incredibly relaxing. It makes me feel like I've retired to a remote island where all I do is stroll the neighborhood and take in the quiet serenity of the simple life. Shut up! And even when there is problems, the solutions become fun little games. You may have completely destroyed the display, Clifford, but all we gotta do to put it back is put the stuff on in the correct order and put together a jigsaw puzzle. Life sure is a bowl of cherries. And to celebrate, we get to decorate a cake for Clifford. Ooh, somebody call Rembrandt. Tell him to duck.
Clifford's gonna love this cake. Cake.
I see you, ice cream cart. Get out here.
Catch, Clifford.
I really could do without the noises Clifford makes when he eats, though. It reminds me of my mortality. And stop staring at me, Jim Cummings. I can't unmake the cake. So we take Clifford to the side of the road and he causes a traffic jam. That's a total lie. Clifford had nothing to do with it. Either everyone here is driving illegally or a sadistic civil engineer converged 3 one-way streets. There's no way this should have happened.
I need to get home.
That's okay. Clifford can just eat them.
To get home. I hope you can help me. I'm on my way to visit my friend Bob. He lives in the house with 2 tall trees that's opposite a yellow house.
No problem, Chief.
Thank you.
Let's go to the beach, catch some sun, wade in the water, maybe steal someone's mail. Who knows? What's going on, Crab? You look like you got something to say. Oh, I see. Yes, of course. Really? I hadn't thought of that. Well put. You son of a bitch. Poetry in motion. and the motion is down. And so this is where the plot gets a little contrived. Clifford gets excited about some fish sticks, so he shakes the earth, and somehow that makes Rocky here catapult himself into the water where he needs us to save him. No worries, I know just the thing. There was a floaty at the pool from earlier. We can have Emily Elizabeth use it to go get him.
That's the Bleakman's floaty tube.
Yes, I am aware. Go get it.
That's the Bleakman's floaty tube.
Yes, go pick it up.
That's the Bleakman's
Emily,
floaty
I know.
tube.
Go pick it up. Emily.
Emily.
Why would they make it to where I can click on it if I
That's
don't
the
need it?
bleak-
Well, while we're here, we might as well give Clifford a bath. Look at that dapper gentleman. I'm ashamed of myself. This never happened, Clifford. I won't tell anybody if you don't. And now Clifford's clean. He looks exactly the same. I really wish they would have kept the weird coloring from the bath throughout the rest of the game, but I guess that would have messed with the branding. Now, I know I'm forgetting something. Duck? Oh yeah, Rocky. Okay, so what you actually have to do is click on Clifford, and that sparks the idea for him to go out and save him. You have to guide Clifford away from the waves and seaweed and propel him forward by having him eat gross, soggy fish sticks, which is just another excuse to make him make his eating sounds. I'm having a great time. We saved Rocky, and we got the last jewel for Clifford's collar. Game complete. Time to celebrate Clifford's birth. Everyone's here, except for Emily's parents. Now, why? Clifford gets a soccer ball for his birthday, and that means we can play a soccer minigame. What a reward.
First, pick 4 of Clifford's pals to be on the other team.
Okay, who the f is Woody? Oh god, this looks awful. I can't do anything. I can't kick the ball. I'm clicking as hard as I can. It's stuck to Clifford's forehead. You know what? This is a fitting end. This is what I get for wanting to retire. Eternal damnation at the hands of Woody. Never mind, I'm leaving.
Great soccer game.
Thanks. And now, just like the first one, the game just stops. You can click on people and see what they have to say, but you can't do anything else. I don't understand why they both end like this. Is this commentary? Is this apathy? It's one of those. Well, I guess that's the end of it. Wow, what a Clifford. So here's my dilemma. I enjoyed playing these games, I really did. I think they're very well made, but they have some huge problems. Basic repetitive gameplay, difficulty settings that mean nothing, and absolutely no replay value. The only thing that could be different on subsequent playthroughs is the game slightly changing in learning activities and having different jewels to collect in thinking adventures. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say that doesn't count. I want to advocate for these games because they have their presentation down solid. There's an entire subset of games coming out nowadays that sort of fall into the chill category, games that place less of a focus on complex gameplay in favor of aesthetic, and I think these 2 games fit the bill surprisingly well. If they were released recently as indie games without the Clifford branding, I think they would find an audience of people who just wanted the experience of an old computer game like this. I would say Thinking Adventures does a better job overall than Learning Activities despite being a year older. I think it allowed itself to be a complete game first that happened to have minigames, and Learning Activities is just minigames with cutscenes. So I definitely like Thinking Adventures better, and that threw me for a loop because I don't remember playing it nearly as much when I was young. Who cares? It's just Clifford the Big Red Dog. I'm too cool for those baby games. That's what you sound like right now. I love finding appreciation for things that society has by and large deemed valueless. I'm certain I'm not the only one who sees the good in games like these, but there's no widespread outcry for a Clifford's Thinking Adventures remake, although I've been surprised before. I'm always gonna love when Nintendo drops a new Mario game that raises the bar of what video games are capable of, but there's something so inspiring about imagining a little team of developers banding together to put out a cute little game like this just to try and make some kids happy. No doubt some of them were in it just for the paycheck, but you can tell there's a great deal of sincerity in these games, and that's really something special. I think that's the takeaway for me. They're not great. If you play them, you'll only play them once, but that one time was pretty good. These days, gaming has gotten so complicated, what with new games every day, tracking gaming trends, gaming-related content, whatever the heck esports are. When you're feeling overwhelmed that your fun little hobby has become an intense way of life, I recommend helping Clifford put food back on a shelf. I can't really explain why, but it just helps ease the mind. Thank you for attending my philosophy lecture. All I can really say for these games is they gave me a nice afternoon. You know what? That's pretty good. I'm glad I was able to bring some awareness to these games. Let's see if it affected the prices at all. I'm sorry.